Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
What is one to do if in middle of Shemoneh Esrei the congregation begins to read Kerias Hatorah? Do you stop in middle of your private Amidah, which has the most severe laws of interval of hefsek, in order to listen to Kerias Hatorah and hence delay your Shemoneh Esrei by much time? Or do you stop to listen? So our question really is it better to make a hefsek, an interval for the sake of hearing Kerias Hatorah, or is it better to miss the advantage of hearing Kerias Hatorah for the sake of not making an interval in your Shemoneh Esrei? This question is relevant both to men and to women who came late to shul or are davening be'arichos in length and only reach Shemoneh Esrei during the time of Kerias Hatorah. So as we have discussed in a previous lesson, there is a famous debate amongst the Rishonim and the Poskim as to what one is to do if in the middle of Shemoneh Esrei he hears Kedusha and Kaddish. Should he stop and listen, or should he just continue his Shemoneh Esrei and ignore the congregation's prayers? To which the answer was that despite this debate of each side being voiced amongst the Rishonim, the final ruling and custom is to stop and to listen to Kaddish Kaddish, to Baruch, to Yimleich, to Amen Heshmei Rabbah, until the end of that stanza. And we consider it that by listening to it is as if you are Yaitse, as Shemeya Ka'ina, when we hear is like one who answers, but it's not considered an interval as you didn't actually verbalize the words. So is the final ruling of the Alter Rebbe in 104.5, the Mechaber 104.7, the Torah, Men Rishonim, and Poskim, as we discussed there. Now, seemingly one should say, so there you go, you have your precedent ruling. Just like we rule by Kedusha and Kaddish, you stop and listen, so too by Kerias Hatorah. You should stop and listen. However, some Poskim write that this ruling is limited to Kaddish and Kedusha and does not apply to Kerias Hatorah. And it is thus better to continue Shemoneh Esrei and ignore the reading of the Torah, even if you will not be able to hear Kerias Hatorah again that day. So write today's Poskim of the Shevet HaLevi, Rav Vosner, in Kavitz and Beis Levi, Volume 12, of Sturmbach and Tshuvas Van Haggis, Volume 2, Tshuva 70, Piskei Tshuvas in various places. And the reason why the differential between the above halach and Kerias Hatorah is because, number one, the only reason why we rule you have to stop and listen to Kaddish and Kedusha is because that's the custom, but there's no custom to stop and listen to Kerias Hatorah. So better not to enter into the machlekes. Furthermore, they argue, the obligation of Kerias Hatorah is on the congregation, not on every individual, as rule most Poskim. And therefore, there's no reason for you to stop and listen. On the other hand, others of today's Poskim rule that one should stop and listen, so rules the Oz Nidberu in Volume 14, Shuva 29. As number one, many Poskim do rule that every individual is chayev, is obligated to hear Kerias Hatorah, every single word of Kerias Hatorah. And number two, if even in the case of Kaddish and Kedusha, when you really ideally need to answer, we tell you to stop, and we don't consider it an interval, so certainly at Kerias Hatorah, where there's no mitzvah to say it, but just to hear it, is it permitted to stop? Practically, halacha l'maisa, it is best to avoid the situation to begin with, not to enter into complex halachic debates. Avoid starting Shemoneh Esrei during times of Torah reading. Now, if Zman Tefillah is going to pass, or you already started Shemoneh Esrei, then those who stop to listen to Kerias Hatorah have upon whom to rely, and this especially applies in a case that one's not able to concentrate properly in Shemoneh Esrei in the midst of Kerias Hatorah, such as he begins feeling a bad conscience that he's missing Kerias Hatorah, then certainly in this case, according to everyone, he should stop and listen. As rules the Alter Rebbe in chapter 98 halacha 1, that if one gets a foreign thought during Shemoneh Esrei, he is to be quiet until the thought leaves him, and so too here. All the above regarding men. Regarding women, according to most Poskim and the final ruling in Minhag, women are not obligated to hear Kerias Hatorah, and hence they may continue Shemoneh Esrei rather than to stop and listen to Kerias Hatorah. Nonetheless, once again, if it's difficult for them to concentrate, they may also stop and listen based on the above stated ruling in the Alter Rebbe.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.